bad, but that was due to some other reason. Fair. Okay. Anomalous behavior. Not group of second period elements. What is the meaning of anomalous? Anyone? No?
Weird behavior, alien type matter.
Yeah. A normal. I mean, it is. I think it is from a normal. That is different from normal. Okay, different from normal. So whenever we write second period element, and whenever we write from left to right, we exclude the noble gases. You remember, right? We exclude the noble gases. Now, the important point about noble gases and why we exclude this is because they don't react. And as chemists and as someone who is studying chemistry, we are interested more on those things which are reacting. Okay, which are reacting. So create second, that means, right, the first elements of group 1 to 2 and group. Yes, Khalid, you want to say something? 13 to 17.
No, sir.
Okay, differs from subsequent members. Okay, the first point is that they differ from the subsequent members. That means the elements in the same group but below these particular elements. So from 1 and 2 we have lithium and beryllium, and from 13 to 7 we have boron to fluoride. Now, what is the cause of this difference? The difference causes due to small size. Okay, due to small size and high electronegativity. So due to small size and high electronegativity. Now, also one more thing that has been observed is that lithium and beryllium show similar property as magnesium and aluminium respectively. As aluminium and magnesium respectively. Okay, so that means lithium has similar properties as magnesium and beryllium has similar properties as aluminium. Okay. Now, if I am going to draw the group 1 elements, they are Li, Nak, Rab, Kas, Far. After that we have Be, Mag, Ka, Sar, barium and radium. After that we have group 13. Group 13 we have Baigan, Alu, Gajar in Thala. Now, as you can see that lithium has similar properties as that of magnesium. Beryllium has similar properties as that of aluminium. Now, the reason is that, what happens if I go from lithium to beryllium? What will happen if I go from lithium to beryllium? If I go from lithium to beryllium, let us first of all see atomic size. What will happen to atomic size? Going from lithium to beryllium, atomic size decreases. Okay, this is the first step. Now, when I go from beryllium to magnesium, second step, what happens? Atomic size increases, right? Because we are increasing the shell. Now, here to here it decreases, and then here to here increases. That is why lithium and magnesium, it will have similar kind of atomic size. It will have similar kind of atomic size, and that atomic size is very much visible when they are in ionic form. Similar is the case for beryllium to boron. The size will decrease. Now, boron to aluminium, the size will increase, and that is why beryllium and aluminium, they will have similar size. Okay, they will have similar size. Now, the next point of difference from the other, okay, now this sort of similarity is referred as diagonal relationship. Known as what? Diagonal relationship. Okay, now next point of difference. The second period element don't have d subshell, and hence cannot have covalency greater than 4. Okay, their covalency cannot be greater than 4. They also cannot expand their octet. Now, since second period element, they have only what? First shell, right? In first shell, we have only one S. In second shell, we have one S and 2p, right? That is why they don't have any 3D subshell, right? They don't have a D subshell. What will happen if we go to the third period? Third period has the third shell. So it will have 3S, it will have 3p, and it will also have 3D. Now, because this 3D is existing, that is why it can accommodate more than 8 electrons, right? It can accommodate more than 8 electrons. That is why they can expand their octet. They can expand their octet. We will view this expansion of octet more in chemical bonding, okay? Chemical bonding, because this is an example from bonding chapter. Now, the next reason is that, again, it will be explained further in the bonding chapter. See, when we have the p block elements, they can form p pi bonds. Okay, they can form p pi bonds. Let me do this. We will discuss this pi bonds only in the chemical bonding when you know what is pi bond. Okay, so please write till here. What you can do is write this down. We will explain this later. They have greater tendency to form p pi bonds. Okay, so we will explain this when you will learn about the pi bond formation. Now, everything they have greater than, so greater is a relative term, greater than what? Greater than the subsequent elements. Okay, so all these relative terms have been used with respect to the subsequent elements in the same group. Raise your hand if you're done. Just waiting for okay, Salman is not back or what? Salman was back. I heard him say some things. He was the one suggesting me to.
Yeah, I said I was slow.
Okay. Now write 2 points. Okay, write two more points regarding oxides of extreme left, extreme right. Okay, oxides of extreme left and extreme right. So the oxides of extreme left, that means in the alkali and alkaline metals. So oxides of extreme left, they are basic in nature. Okay, they are mostly basic in nature. For example, Na2O, MgO. Okay, oxides of extreme right are mostly acidic in nature. For example, you will have Cl2, O7, etc. Now, the oxides in the middle. Okay, oxides in the middle or center. Oxides of center are amphoteric. Now, for amphoteric, you will have examples such as of aluminium Al2O3, As2O3, or they are neutral or neutral oxides. For neutrals, you will have, for example, carbon monoxide, carbon nitrogen monoxide, dinitrogen oxides. These are examples for neutral oxides. So write these points. Now, all of these points which are regarding the bonding and the chemical compounds, we will explain mostly in the chemical bonding chapter. Okay. As I